This is ATL Day Ones, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
Welcome in and welcome back, ATL. This is ATL Day Ones. I am Tenitra, Batiste, and that gentleman over there is the amazing, legendary reporter, anchor, host, all things sports. He is the A. Sam Crenshaw. What's happening, Sam?
Great to be back with you. Always great to be back with you, Tenitra. And a lot has gone on since the last time we talked on Friday.
I know, man. Sports just never, ever quits no matter what. Even if you get a day off like we had yesterday, sports never takes a day off at all. And thankfully, the Braves don't take a day off these days in a good way, So we'll talk a little bit of Braves today, kind of recap how the series against the Cardinals started on Monday night. Also, we'll go into a deep dive of the Braves a little bit later, kind of looking at this first half of the season now that we've gotten through the first 81 games. Also, some good things. That's, of course, up in Cobb County, but some good things coming from the South Side as well that we'll talk about today. And also, there is some good information that we can share, kind of tidbits and nuggets here and there from Sam Crenshaw, an insider for a sport that we all know and love and want to talk about the possibilities of what that sport is doing in an amazing way nationwide, but also maybe how it's going to touch us here in Atlanta. So that's just a little bit of the tease about what's coming up, but let's go ahead and get you started right now. Braves, Cardinals, Sam, the Braves are back home for quite a long homestand when you think about it, going into that all-star break, if you will. 10-game homestand starting with a 4-game series versus the Cardinals. They teed that up last night in Cobb County, at least tried to tee that up.
Yeah, how about that?
2 hour and 37-minute rain delay. Crazy, right?
Crazy rain delay. It has happened before on the 4th of July. That's something rather historic with this team. But it happened last night. I think they finished a little short of 1:30 in the morning. They got there, but the Braves did get the win to start the series. I don't know how much of the crowd was able to stay around, for it. But I mean, it's always packed. The 4th of July and the Braves, the Cardinals, a team that always seems to be in the conversation,
right
always. So they come in and the Braves are able to get a big lead. The problem is your starting pitcher couldn't get the win, and that's what we want to get.
That. You hate that for Kyle, right? Because there he was sitting on the cusp of getting a double-digit wins for the season, and he'd only given up that one run, and everything's going great. And then all of a sudden you get to the 5th inning and you've got to put everything on pause, and that also put his 10th win of the season on pause. So it's kind of disappointing there. I believe Darren O'Day ends up getting the win last night. 6-3, of course, like you said, was the final. But the encouraging thing was the fact that the Braves got out to a 6-0 lead, and they were able to maintain that lead thanks to the bullpen at least being solid. It was a little bit tough seeing them give up a couple runs. Cardinals kind of made it scary there, and like you said, another good team. So we're still talking about quality wins that the Braves are getting, because both of these teams are right there in the thick of things as far as the wild card race is concerned as we get to the midpoint. But and another crazy good night for Dansby Swanson, another multi-hit night for him. I believe it's 15th of the season, dating back to in the last 15 games. It's been crazy, right? How many he's had. And that dates back to June 19th. So again, you look at it definitely is a different player, arguably every single night, who gets it done for the Braves. But maybe the most consistent of those is Dansby.
He has been the most consistent lately, and that is the beauty of the Braves batting order. On any given night, it could be any of them that will come out and just have a night like that. And you talk about Kyle Wright once again, they've given him run support. Some pitchers have had to struggle for the run support. That's one thing that has helped him to go out and pitch with confidence. The offenses usually put runs on the board for him whenever he started this season. So we hope he gets another chance for that 10th win. He gets that 10th win. It's going to be hard to turn him down for the All-Star game. And so that's what it was. Absolutely.
Yeah, you better believe it. And what a great situation for Alex Anthopoulos. And again, we'll talk about that in the deep dive, because when you have someone like a Kyle Wright, and then you have others that are slowly coming back to help with the bullpen, like a Tyler Matzik, those are good problems to have as you're going into All-Star break and you're approaching the deadline, because now you don't feel as squeezed as maybe you did even a month or a month and a half ago. You're getting Eddie Rosario back. He even got a little bit of action late last night. So there are pieces that are coming together all in the Braves' favor that keep them right there on the cusp with the Mets, right there, 3.5 games back of the Mets. So yeah, we love what we're seeing in Cobb County. Keep it coming. And hopefully we've seen turnarounds. Charlie Morton is a great example, although unfortunately to end the Red Series, he didn't get the win he so deserved either.
Right.
But I point to Charlie, Sam, because Charlie is one of those great examples of the turnarounds that we've seen a very, very slow start. And now we're starting to see Charlie Morton again. We certainly hope, especially after giving up multiple runs, double-digit runs in just the last 2 starts, you hope that you get a better night from Ian Anderson tonight.
Yeah, we definitely want to see him go out and do well. And hopefully if they get some runs for him like they did last night, that would be a good thing and give him some confidence to go out there and freely just go out and pitch his best. Let's see if he can get that win tonight. That would be big, a big confidence builder for him. Absolutely. At this time of the season, maybe gets one or two more starts before the All-Star break. But this would be a great way to go to it by getting a win over a really good St. Louis team tonight.
Exactly. And you want to talk about confidence, and you want to talk about building that confidence and how you build it. It's when you have quality wins at home, whether we're talking Braves up at Truist Park or whether we are talking Dream over on the South Side at Gateway Center Arena. They got a great win Sunday. I had an opportunity to get to my first game in a few weeks, their first home game, but they've been out on the road for a minute as well.
Right, they've been on the road.
So when you have the kind of success that they have, especially not just playing in front of that home crowd, but also a crowd that had a decent amount, I won't say a great amount because the Dream fans represented as well, but a good amount of fans, decent amount of fans there for Sue Bird, of course, she of the Seattle Storm, also a former teammate of Coach Tenitra Wright's. So that was quite an emotional day, and yet the Dream were able to get a win over the Storm Sunday, and they did it with a combination of what they're getting out of Cheyenne Carter, but also, of course, Ryan Howard. And we found out just today that she is the Rookie of the Month for the second straight month. The accolade is the 5th of her debut season because, of course, she's been named Rookie of the Week a couple times. Now she's also been named to the All-Star team as a reserve. And it's just been crazy what she's been able to do just in this month. 14.3 points, 2.7 rebounds, just an absolute beast out there for the Dream, and having them also on the cusp of besting themselves right here at the midpoint of the season. They're looking like they're going to best their win record from last season.
You know what, Tenitra, when they made the move to be able to draft her with that top pick, you had an idea they were going to get someone who's going to be good, maybe come in and be a contributor right away and do some good things. You didn't know she was going to come in and do the stuff that she's doing for this team, because that's right. I mean, right from the start, and she fits right in, and she's doing like she's been here before. It's like she's been at this level before. You say maybe the SEC competition challenged her, maybe going up against some of the tougher programs in the nation, you know, like a South Carolina, like Tennessee, like Mississippi State. We're facing those night after night. Maybe those are some things that really sharpened her and got her ready. But she came into this so well prepared to do whatever her team needed. And it's been a treat to watch her go out there and play and bring us some great spotlight, put this team in the spotlight, and the crowd show up as well to see her play. It has been amazing to see what she's done with this team so far.
It has. And Tenitra Wright has just been tremendous as well. She'll have quite a challenge on her hands tomorrow because they once again have to face the Mystics, and that's been a little bit of their Achilles heel or their kryptonite this season. But, you know, she made a great point. It's tough to beat a team 4 times in a row. And they said, we know exactly who's coming in our house Wednesday. We're ready. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, like you said, what a great point you made, Sam, about Ryan Howard, because when I look out on the court, and of course, I say this kind of tongue in cheek, but sometimes I don't know which one she is. And the reason I say that is not because I don't know who Ryan Howard is, but it's because Tenitra Wright has that team, whether it's the first unit or the second unit, really functioning at such a high level. And for her to be a rookie and function at that high level to the point where I'm looking at her fluidity and wondering, okay, that's Tip Hayes. That's, you know, that's the vet that has finally returned to the team.
And she's just back, right?
And that's Cheyenne Parker. I said Carter earlier, forgive me for that, but that's Cheyenne Parker, and she is just amazing, really leading the team. And always on the cusp, if not getting a double-double each and every night. And I'm going, wow, Ryan just fits right in there with them. So it's just good to see that that team is exciting. Like you said, there's a good product that they're putting on the floor out there on the South Side. Now, listen, we don't often like to leave you guys on a sad note, but sometimes it's just good for us to kind of close the chapter on something, or at least bring some closure when we can. And we all know Demaryius Thomas was beloved here from his days at Georgia Tech, and most of us watched him right on into his Super Bowl days and supported him for his decade-long career in the NFL, knew about his positive exploits on and off the field. So it was devastating for the local and the national sports community, his untimely passing back on December 9th at just the age of 34. Well, Boston University was given approval by his family to examine his brain, and they did find CTE. Now, granted, the local coroner has still not released a cause of death. There is still some concern that maybe a car accident that he had in 2019 is the culprit. But once again, we find out at least somewhat that that CTE is still indeed. You hate it when you see deaths in our retired players and they're dying in their young age, at a young age. But you always think to yourself, wow, does CTE play a part in it? It appears that might be the way here for Bebe.
Yeah, unfortunately, when it was timely passing of an ex NFL player, that's one of the things that kind of comes to mind, and it's having
Yeah.
this effect on the game at all levels, because it's got some
Mhm.
parents, sending the kids away from the sport. But man, maybe Thomas was just a tremendous story for us to cover here. For those who knew his
Mhm.
background, what he knew,
Yeah,
what he had to overcome from
sure.
his home, you know what I mean, with his mother and grandmother being, in the trouble that they were in.
Mhm.
He almost went through his whole career, and his mother didn't get a chance to come and see him play a game.
Yeah.
Right up until she was pardoned by President Obama, she was able to get to go and see him play in the Super Bowl. And even at that time, he went out and just went about his business.
Yes.
Just went about the things he was doing at Georgia Tech, and going into the professional ranks, and everyone's so very proud of him. And so, to call it a career, to be saluted by the people there with the team he played at Denver, and then to have in retirement not be able to enjoy their retirement. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that really broke everybody's heart with his
Mhm.
passing. And now you hope that his family does get some form of peace
Sure.
with what we have today. But it's also a cautionary tale
Mhm.
for the sport. And football has worked very hard and diligently in recent years
Mhm.
to make the game safer and to keep those type things away.
Yeah.
Once the news got out that some players suffer with it, so there's things to be learned, but also things to be admired
Sure.
about his legacy and what
Yeah.
he was able to do. And I think when we think about that, that still makes us smile.
It does. It does. And that's why I have this smile on my face, because I enjoyed watching him in his run, his play for the Broncos, and every now and again hearing some of the great things that he did off the field as well. So we do know that while he's not here with us physically, that his legacy and everyone that he touched certainly does live on in what he was able to bring in just 34 short years. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah, yeah.
prayers
We're
and
always amazed that that guy got to the National Football League as a receiver, because Georgia Tech ran an offense well only threw the ball about 5 times a game, and so
but
you had to catch it. If they threw the ball, you had to catch
right.
it, and,
But
and
like
that's the
our
thing.
Right, like my friend Hugh always says, our friend Hugh Douglas always says, if you're good, they will find you. And
They
speaking of
will.
if you are good, they will find you. Folks are figuring out the Braves are still good. You can find them right there in Truist Park, showing you everything that they are still good at. So when we come back, we're going to do a deep dive and kind of talk about what we saw in the first half and what we look forward to seeing in the second half on the Braves when we come back on the other side. It's ATL Day Ones.